Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jessie and today we are talking about the goals I have for my reading and for the channel in 2022. I can't believe we are almost at 2022. Happy New Year to everyone. When I was trying to make my reading goals for 2022, I started making them and they were so abstract that I just thought to myself, I want to be able to track goals and to actually see if I hit goals based on certain measures. So I kind of redid my goals in my brain, and if I don't hit them, it's totally fine. These are just some goals for me to keep in mind going into next year. But the first goal and the main goal that I have kind of has to do with the number of books I want to read. That is to reduce the number of books I have on my physical TBR. Meaning, I have over 100 books that I own currently that I have not yet read, and I would love to get that number down. The goal that I have is to get that number down to 50 books, which is ambitious. That is a lot of books I'd have to read. So for my Goodreads goal, I'm going to make my goal 60 books, which I usually do that every year because it's kind of, it's manageable for me to hit. I don't feel like I'm stretching myself too much by doing that, but I feel comfortable that I can consistently hit that every year. And if I do read 60 books, that means I should be able to get that number down to 50 books on my physical TBR. However, I know I'm probably going to end up hauling some books next year. I know that I have some anticipated releases that I'm really looking forward to, so I don't want to totally stop myself from hauling books, especially since I have a local bookstore here where I can take in old books that I no longer want and they'll give me store credit and I can get new books with that store credit. So I love doing that. That's something that's so fun for me to do. So I don't want to not do that at all next year, but I would love to get the number of physical books I have on my TBR down to 50. Again, that's very ambitious. If I don't hit it, that's okay. But for me, I just don't love having a ton of books I haven't read on my shelves. It kind of stresses me out a little bit. It makes me feel like I have a harder time feeling justified to buy more books when I have so many books that I haven't read yet. Not to say that if you have a ton of books on your shelf that you haven't read, that's a bad thing. It's a totally individual thing. Some people love having huge collections of books they haven't read because they're mood readers and they get to kind of pick and choose, but depending on their mood, which book they want to read and pick up, and I think that's awesome. Just for me and my brain, I get stressed out thinking about all the books I have that I haven't read. The next goal I have is more abstract, but it'll help me reach my first goal, hopefully, and that is to allow myself to DNF. And this is something that I started doing a lot more this year. I started really letting myself, if I'm not completely enjoying a book, if I'm not super engaged, I just put it down and I said, you know what, this isn't for me. I tried it, I gave it a good shot, but this is not for me. And that helped so much with my reading and made me enjoy what I was reading so much more, because I knew some of those books that I ended up DNFing, if I had finished them, they probably would have been 3 stars or less. And that's never fun, you know, to read a 3-star or less book. I want to lessen that. I want to read more 4- and 5-star books. So I think that allowing myself to DNF more easily is going to help me get my physical TBR down to 50, because hopefully I love all the books I own, right? That's the goal. But realistically, I probably won't love every book that I have. So allowing myself to just say, you know what, this isn't for me, and to DNF, I think that's going to help me a lot. Now, another very measurable goal I have is series. And for me, I have had a lot of issues with series in recent years where I've started a new series and I take a long time to get to the next book in that series, and I end up forgetting a lot of what happened in the previous book, and that hinders my enjoyment of the following book. And to avoid this, I want to start really binging series more and getting through them a lot more quickly. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to read every single one back to back, but to at least make sure I'm reading sequels and getting to those sequels in a timely fashion. Really, I think my limit is I don't want to let more than 2 months pass before I get to a sequel, because I feel like if any more time goes by, I will have forgotten a lot of what happened in previous books. And we'll talk about series in a different video, but there are quite a few series that I'm just gonna restart because realistically, if I read those sequels, I'm just not gonna enjoy them as much because I don't remember what happened in the first book of the series. So I wanna avoid doing that because I'm not a huge rereader. I have so many books on my shelf that I really, really wanna get to. I don't want to have to reread previous books in order to enjoy future books. So binging series and getting my series number down to 5 ongoing series. I'm at around 15 right now. So again, this is really ambitious, and if I don't hit it, that's totally fine. But if I could just have 5 series that are ongoing, and this does not count series where I've read all the books that are out and I'm waiting for the next one to come out, that doesn't count. These are for series that are finished or series that I'm behind on that are ongoing that I need to read. And that number is the one that I really want to get down to 5. So well, that's a lot of reading. That's a lot of books that I'd have to get through. And a lot of those books I don't own. So here we go. This is where my physical TBR number is probably going to go up. But utilizing my library, utilizing audiobooks, I think this is going to help all these things. So that's really my third goal here, is to get that series number down to 5. That is so ambitious. Oh my God. What am I getting myself into? And then I have 2 more goals, which is kind of helping me go out of my comfort zone a little bit with my reading. My favorite genre is fantasy. I love fantasy. I love thrillers and horrors, and I love sci-fi. Those are all books that I very, very often will pick up, and those are probably what I read the most of. But I'd love to start reading more classics. You see a lot of classics behind me, a lot of which I haven't read yet. So I would really love to start reading more classics. I'm just setting a goal of read 5 classics this year. And it could be modern classics, it could be very old classics. So just 5 classics. I would love to hit that number. I feel like that's achievable, unlike my first 2 goals. So yeah, that's something that I would really love to prioritize. And then another kind of similar goal is expanding my middle grade reading, which a big reason for that is I now have a daughter, and as she gets older, I would love to have a collection of books to pass down to her. She can kind of have this library of her own of books that she will hopefully enjoy reading as she grows up. So starting to read more middle grade books so that I can pass those down to her. And that middle grade number, I'm just going to keep it at 5 as well. I'd love to read 5 middle grade books this year. I actually am hoping to read more than that, but just realistically with all of these other goals and things I have in mind, I would like to keep that number at 5. So reading 5 middle grades, and I will do a whole video on kind of my top middle grade books that I really want to get to and read. So that will be upcoming. But yeah, that is one other goal. So expanding my reading with classics in middle grades. So those are all of my reading goals. Some of them more achievable than others. I really don't know why I'm doing this to myself. So let's talk about now some channel goals. And these, I don't have as many channel goals because again, I'm trying to be a little bit easier on myself. Last year, 2021, was very busy for me because it was an exciting year. I had my baby girl. That did result in a lot less reading time and a lot less channel time, which is totally fine. I've been having a blast. She's been amazing. But now that she's gotten a little bit older, she's becoming a little bit more independent. We're getting on a good routine now. So with that, I have a little bit more time on my hands and would love to kind of prioritize the channel once again. So the first goal I have is getting out 2 videos each week. And I know that this one could be quite challenging during some times of the year. So I think probably a more achievable goal would be putting out at least 6 videos each month. So that allows me to kind of put out 1 video a week, but then put out 2 the following week, and 1 and 2 hopefully hit that number. But I would really love to start doing 2 videos a week. That would be awesome. Another channel goal I have is one of my favorite videos to watch on Booktube is challenge videos, reading challenges of any kind. When Booktubers challenge themselves to read another booktuber's favorite books, or read Goodreads Choice Awards, or read highly rated books, or popular books, or underhyped books, or whatever the case may be. Just any challenge videos, I think that they're so fun to watch. So I'd love to actually do some and make some challenge videos. I'm gonna have a goal of doing 5 challenge videos this year. Hopefully I'd be able to do more, but with challenge videos, it does require a lot more time and reading. So I feel like if I just say 5 challenge videos this year, I can hit that. I feel confident that I would be able to hit that. And I have some ideas in mind that I'm really excited for. So hopefully that excitement will help motivate me to get the reading done for them. So I'd love to do that and release those types of videos because I just think they're so fun to watch. If you have any favorite challenge videos or ideas for challenges, definitely leave those comments down below. I'd love to hear your ideas. And then the third and final channel goal is a little bit more abstract, but one that I'd love to keep in mind, and that is kind of improving the aesthetic of the channel, which is a little hard to measure. But what I mean by that is maybe getting a new channel banner for my channel and getting a new logo made or something like that, and having intros and outros to my videos and that sort of thing, and maybe playing around with some editing and some filming styles. I don't know. I just want to play around with the aesthetics of the channel and do some more unique and creative things with the aesthetics. So we'll see how that goes, but it's just something I want to keep in the back of my mind as I'm doing my videos next year. There are some booktube channels that do this so well, and I'll link a couple down below that I think are just really good at the aesthetics of their channel that are really an inspiration to me. They're so good at it. So that's something I definitely want to keep in mind. So those are the reading and channel goals I have for next year. I'm really excited about 2022. I feel like it's going to be a good one. What are some goals that you all have for your reading, or if you have a channel, what are some goals you have for your own channel? I'd love to know. So leave those comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to, and Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you have a safe and fun new year. I will see you all in 2022. Bye!